Hey, let's jump right into it, man. Diddy beats the feds. What a crazy 8 weeks this has been. But hey, if you've been watching our show, we've kind of predicted that this was where it was going. At least until last week, where we tried to spin it a little bit and try to take a look more from the side of the prosecution. But let's take a quick look at what happened. Fair use.
Have the first verdict on count one, racketeering conspiracy. How do you find the defendant not guilty? And so now they'll move on to count two. Count two, how do you find the defendant not guilty? That is the sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. On count three, which is Mann Act transportation involving Cassie Ventura, guilty. Count four, sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Count five, Mann Act transportation of Jane, guilty. So mixed verdict here. Not guilty on three of the charges, guilty on two of the charges. Lisa, your reaction? Have the first.
Bam! They got off. Daddy got off. Pull out. There's a rock and the baby on. Pull out the Ciroc and
Come
the
on,
baby
man.
on.
KR, come on. We talked about this. You can't bring props. We talked about this.
By the way, it's still sealed. It's still sealed.
You can't bring props
It's
to the
still
show
sealed.
without
It's still
discussing
sealed.
it with me first. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. You need to discuss it first, man.
Hey,
First,
man,
KR,
crazy
that's
times.
but he didn't really get off, right? So just to be
Well,
to
RJ,
I mean,
if you're facing life, and you're probably gonna get off with 2 years, which you already have set on one, so you only probably will have to face another year, man. But
well, yeah.
by the way, I'm
So
not celebrating. It's just a joke, guys. It's just a joke.
yeah. But KR, first, getting off was the reason why he's in this predicament in the first place. But guys,
Again, can you repeat that one?
I said getting off is the reason why he's in this predicament in the first place. That's what I said.
He was getting other people off, but okay.
Exactly. So, hey, but before we continue, guys, we want to thank you for being here. Remember to rate the show by pressing the like button, follow us on our socials, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification icon. A lot of you are watching but are not subscribed. So if you like what we do, subscribe. You might think that you're already subscribed, or sometimes people believe that, or at least they're under the impression that they're subscribed because they're getting our videos shared to them, but actually it's just the algorithm that's pushing it. But we do appreciate that extra effort and subscribing to the channel. It does help this channel grow. And last but not least, remember to subscribe as well to our newsletter. The link is in the description and down below, where we will share with you links to other stories and fire moments that did not make the show. But yeah, KR, he didn't really. A lot of people are celebrating, talking as if he's entirely free. They still have him detained.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll talk about that more. And as you said, a lot of people they talk as if he's free, that he's been that the jury has determined that he's not guilty on all counts, and that's not the truth. But as you said, it's like perspective. If you have like racketeering and some heavy charges, and you only get accused for the less heavy one, then it's still a win for him. It's a win.
This is a major win. I think if you look at the whole thing, when you're facing racketeering charges, I think people don't really see the magnitude of that, because if he would have found guilty of the RICO charge, they would have had the ability to remove or separate him from his money, literally all the money he has made. So even money that's on the kids' bank account, they could have basically ask him to put it back where it belongs, which is in the government's hands, and well, where it belongs between quotation marks. But yeah, so and he would be facing life. So it's a very interesting situation. I mean, you're right. It's totally not. I mean, he's gonna still gonna sit 2 years, 2 to 3 years for this for what he's been found guilty. But I mean, if you look at this perspective, man, it's a crazy. People usually don't beat Rico, man. They don't. They don't. Which shows you what kind of which shows you what kind of case this was. We've been talking about this from the beginning, and again, we've been saying this throughout this whole Diddy saga. The guy is not a good guy. The guy is not someone you would want to hang out with because he does weird stuff. At the same time, what he's being charged for partially could have been, they could prove it easily. Certain things they were easily to prove, which is what they found him guilty of. RICO is very hard to prove. You have to show intent and also a clear criminal organization, and that wasn't the case here. I think again, people were going crazy, RJ. People were going crazy. Let me show you a couple of situations, which is wild. It was wild outside of the court after the verdict.
I don't know what she gonna do, y'all.
People throwing baby oil on each other. Look at this.
Oh my God.
People having verbal interactions.
He beat her. He beat her. He beat her. He kicked her. He spit on her. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. This guy, what he's talking about, is it a possibility that Cassie Ventura went through things like this horrific, horrible things that this man, you saw me, we can agree the videos were horrible, right? Is it possible that she did things that she wouldn't know because she was so in love with this man? The answer is yes or no.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Best friend.
Hold that up for me and kind of explain why you're giving those out. What made you want to do that?
Honestly, the show this stuff is mandatory, right? So he's in here for doing this, right? But they're trying to make you think that he's in here for this. A freako is not a RICO. What you're doing in your own bedroom is not against the law, right? He's making porn tapes with his girlfriend, consenting porn tapes. Now, some people might call it, oh, that's immoral. Well, a lot of stuff that we do, you're not gonna like. I'm not gonna like some things that you do, but it's my personal business, right? So for example, I have a transgender child, right? My child is going from male to.
Even the Combs kids. He's going crazy out here with his girlfriend. Look at him. Let me cut it off a little bit because that's a recently show. RJ, look at this. Look at this. Imagine how much energy the guy had, man. But yeah. Hey, it was a crazy situation, but I think we've been talking about this for more than 8 weeks now. One thing we've been saying since the beginning is that, by the way, RJ, did you know that what he was found guilty for was the recently added charges? Mute.
I said not the original ones.
These are those two were not the original ones.
And
So
they also dropped some charges.
well, but before the trial began, these were the last two that were added. So all
The
the
safety
other
net.
ones, this was really a safety net. So it would have been crazy is after this whole saga, it would have went home on, on verdict day.
Yeah.
It would have been a total defeat for the prosecution. And of course, we talked about how the everything progressed. Like, yeah, they kind of said that they're not gonna instruct the jury on how to judge the arson case, kidnapping, which basically means you're not gonna try to pursue it. So they dropped those indeed right before the jury went into deliberation. But yeah, man. So yeah, Diddy was basically found guilty. So those are these were the counts. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy. Count 2, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Count 3, transportation to engage in pro S. Count 4, trafficking by force, which is Jane Doe, by trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. And last but not least, transportation to engage in pro. So count 1, not guilty. Count 2, not guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, not guilty. And Diddy was I'm gonna say it, he was shitting bricks on the day before the verdict, because what
How
was
so?
said was that they were still deliberating about the RICO, whether he could be charged. They would get a guilty verdict on the RICO. So when he heard that, he probably thought, "Oh, I'm cooked." Because if they can find me guilty on RICO, I'm cooked for life. It's hard to fight a RICO. If they can prove it, you're cooked. And maybe, by the way, maybe you can read what I did send you on the day of verdict. Open your message,
Mm-hmm.
the direct ones.
Yeah. The day of the verdict. Which one do you want me to read out?
You can read them back to back. So from verdict is probably today.
Yeah, okay.
Can you see
Verdict
that
is
one?
so July 2nd. Verdict is probably today.
I was
Sounds
giving you
like they have,
updates.
sounds like they have because I was traveling well, I had a court case that day. I was actually in court as you were. I was trying to save someone's life while you were sending me this nonsense. Verdict is probably today. Sounds like they have a verdict for 4 out of 5 charges. RICO seems like is the one they had a deadlock on yesterday. That might actually save him from losing all his money. I think at least 2 of 4 are not guilty. That was in the morning, well, early morning. And then you said, I was still in court, by the way. You gave an update like 45 minutes later. You said some of the things in the charges are also in the RICO. So if it's a halt, it means that some of the main are not guilty. Basic math. Otherwise, they would have already been done and sent that ninja to the gulag. Guys, just so you know, we like to give you guys background information, the behind the scenes thing.
Behind the scenes.
When KaiR writes, he doesn't actually write ninja. It's only when he says it, he says ninja. I'm just KaiR, as long as we don't have a Patreon to provide behind the scenes exclusive content, I have to give the people some background story.
The truth. Give him the
Yeah.
truth,
So
RJ.
yeah. So question is which? Probably the ones I've been saying all this time. They proved. And then like immediately after you sent that message, you said it's happening now. Crazy. Unanimous verdict on all 5 counts. And then approximately 10:30, which is like 12 minutes later, you said count 1, not guilty. That's for the RICO. Count 2, not guilty. That's trafficking Cassie. I have my thoughts on that as well, KaiR. Count 3, guilty. That's the prostitution. Count 4 is also not guilty. That's the transportation of Jane Doe. They call him Jason Statham. Jason Statham, the, tr- the, the transporter. Well, that's a horrible
Transport.
accent. And count 5, guilty. That was the transportation for prospectuation as well. And then the next day, so that's what you said that day. I think we also called like shortly when I got home.
Yeah, we called that.
I called you and then we discussed it. And then July 3rd, KR said something that will go down in history. The dude said, wait, I have a, I'm not doing this as a cliffhanger. Just give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment because I want to do this the right way.
Properly.
I want to do this the right way. Just give me just a couple of minutes. Just bear with me, guys.
He's looking for it. By the way, while he's looking for it, let's take a look at other
Wait. I'm
things.
always there.
Oh,
I'm always there.
you're almost there. Okay. I'll wait. Otherwise, I'll play a video in the meanwhile because people are waiting
Oh
for
no, I
you.
got it. I
RJ.
got it. I got it.
Okay.
The dude said the following, guys. The dudes that was the only message I received that day. By the way, I didn't receive any other message. No context, nothing. So the verdict had already taken place the previous day. The only message I received on July 3rd, one day before Independence Day, guys. The dude said something. I was like, what? KR said, being a freaking ninja, guilty, all caps. Only message I received that day, guys. I didn't receive any good morning, what up, dude, what up, bro? Nothing. The only message I received that day was being. You know how crazy that is, guys? You know how crazy that is, guys? Can you imagine me being in a meeting and then, well, my messages do not pop. They do not.
Hey.
I do
By the
get
way,
notifications
RJ,
on my phone, but
the time
imagine I'm just reading and then only this pops up. Being a freaky ass ninja, guilty.
and the time when I sent you, I woke up
Time,
with
oh
that.
yeah, yo,
I woke up with a thought in my mind. I
that's
woke
even
up and
crazier.
typed it and sent it. Nothing
That's even
else that
crazier.
day.
That's even
Woke up
crazier.
and sent it to you.
Dude didn't even have his breakfast.
Oh man, nah, but
Yo,
hey,
put the banner back on.
it's.
I don't know which banner you had on, so
I'll put it back on, no problem.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, imagine, right? And guys, last week we tried to throw kind of a curveball because, to be honest, we've been quite covering this from a neutral, of course, neutral point of view. But you never know when you're dealing with that. We talked about it last week as well. When you're dealing with a jury, you also have to look at that from a different angle. So that's why we try to also take a look at the different angles during the closing. And what seems like, and we were hammering that maybe Agnafilio was having a bad day, but at the end of the day, I think that closing probably saved his life. Because if you break down the closing, he was very very, I'm not say condescending, but um trying to play the card of humor towards the jury, because basically what he said was, hey, they took off all the baby off the streets. The streets is now safer. No more astroglides. They got 6 volumes off the streets. Now the game is safer. He was kind of pointing out that all these things that they did, they all these things that they presented during the as evidence, those are minor things. What did they get? Astroglide, baby oil, 6 volumes pills, a couple of grams of Tusi. I mean, this is not a guy that's doing big oh, Jesus, almost stuck.
Bro,
No
you
big.
you sounded like
I
you know
sounded
who you
like
sounded like?
hey, I sounded like this guy for a
No, no,
second.
no,
Hey,
no, 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 no. Yeah,
I sounded
yeah, like him
kind.
too. But you know who you sounded like, man? Oh man, this is crazy. Oh my god, this is crazy. I'll let you know who you sounded like. Oh man, what's the dude's name? Oh man, never. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. But remember the
Okay.
sound you made. Okay, let's continue.
Now, anyway, so yo, I don't know why I went to German. But
Yeah, oh
no,
my god.
yo, that's crazy. No, he didn't do. They were not able to prove these things, and he was kind of making a joke out of it. He was mocking it a little bit, and when you're doing that, it's a toss up. I mean, Archie, maybe you can say something about that. It's a toss up. Maybe the jury might not find it as humorous and as he might want to portray it, and that could be the end of the whole trial at that moment. Where
Yeah,
if you're making a joke and it's not the joking matter, it's awkward, right?
yeah, yeah. I found the soundbite by the way, but I'll answer your question first. It is. It's a risk. Because it can come if so if in the jury's eyes or in the judge's eyes, it's a very serious matter, and you joke about it. Um, then it can really come off as bad. It can really work against you. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have
So
the soundbite?
I have the sound. Yeah, I have the sound bite. But I guess I have to share the sound first. Just don't look at what I'm about to share, because then you'll
Do I
know
have
what
to
it is.
close my? Do I have to close
Yeah,
my
you can close
eyes?
your eyes. It's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
Just
close my
don't.
eyes like this. Well, I'm gonna keep talking though. But yeah, it's a crazy situation, man. And I think I think so. I I've seen a couple of messages online where are you sharing already? Because I'm still covering my
No,
eyes,
I have it. This
which looks
is.
crazy, I think, to everyone who's watching the show.
I-
Tell me when you're about to share, because I don't want to stand here like a Matt Murdock closing my eyes in front of the camera. What the
You're
heck?
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Nah, but I think one of the things
Yeah.
coming out here looking like a Matt Murdock. For those who don't know, that's Daredevil's
Yeah. Yeah.
government
Go ahead.
name.
Continue talking. Continue talking.
Nah, but I think one of the things I saw during the response to the verdict, people were saying this is not taking women seriously, and this is gonna hurt victims. Um, Also, people saying that people were influenced um, because he was a celebrity. I think if you go back, watch our shows, and maybe we'll make a compilation of all the cover we did of this whole saga. But what you could clearly see is that, first of all, I think, um, not saying that Cassie wasn't a victim, but also Cassie wasn't fully a victim. She was also a participant in this whole situation. Um, and we're gonna talk about this the second part of this as the second topic of this show, because of the verdict, people are now waking up and going towards her actually for some money. But yeah, Cassie was not only a victim. I mean, the beating, that's clear. But this case wasn't about the beating. It was about something totally different. Just because someone is getting beat doesn't mean they're being trafficked. And that's the whole situation with this is that um where if you're gonna punish someone um w- for something they didn't do, knowing that they didn't do it but they did something else bad, then you're misusing the power of the court
Yeah.
in that situation. And the problem is once you start doing that, and that's what I think about people who chime in on certain things. They never look further than the first step in a pawn game, in a chess game. Jesus, they think like pawns. Okay, so let's say they convict Diddy of this while there is not clear proof, or there is, because I think you have to have it has to be clear that he's guilty. You cannot, if there is doubt, you cannot give a verdict of guilty. So if he gets found guilty, this means that in the future, you're setting a precedent. In the future, anyone can get um, indicted for things that they didn't do, but it's close to the to what they did, and they can get found guilty as well. And that's a slippery slope in that situation. And I think if you look at the whole spectrum, I think it was kind of expected that this was going this way. RJ.
Yeah. As not only that, KaiR, it also create discredibility to a so the prosecutor in this case, but also if you're a party, right? You know when you have a defense, you want to make a case, you need to have proof. You also know which are your strongest arguments and which are your weakest arguments, which are your strongest counts and which are your weakest counts, charges. I mean, so you know that. And the problem is that if you as an attorney, let's say if I as an attorney, if I use three arguments and they all have some level of truth to them, or legitimacy, or valid, they're valid arguments, then my my reputation and my case would have more weight. But if the judge or the jury gets the impression that I'm just throwing everything that I have in my pocket to the wall and see what sticks, it actually comes over as incompetence, if you ask me. You know, that's what
It felt like
that's
that.
what
It felt like that certain parts of
yeah, yeah.
this whole
So
case.
and that's what you don't want. That's what you don't.
That's definitely you're right about that. And I think that's maybe also a thing what you said, because at a certain point it felt like they were throwing spaghetti to the wall and see whatever was going to stick.
Yeah,
Definitely when it came to the RICO part, because
yeah,
in order to show that there was a RICO, you would have had to prove that he was basically that there were multiple people knowing that they are part of a conspiracy,
yeah. Exactly. No,
and there was not, again,
there wasn't. At least they couldn't prove it.
they couldn't
Which
prove it.
which
And
makes me which begs the question: what was the purpose of this case,
hey,
other than slandering his name? Other than, because, hey, I'm not saying so. Again, this only the only thing that we can say that he was not found guilty doesn't mean that he was never actually involved in something similar.
yes,
But because he might have been, but in this case, he was not. found guilty of the major thing. So, and that's what it's about. That doesn't mean that he did or didn't do it, but in the eyes of the law, he didn't. And so we should treat him as such as well. He has the right to be treated as an innocent man on those areas. A
And I
frico
think
is not a RICO, as they
Frico
said.
is not a Rico. And RJ, I think what has changed over the years is that people assume, and this is why there is like this big disconnect between the media out there and let's say the court system itself, because you are supposed to be not guilty until proven the opposite. But so until proven guilty. But now people assume you're guilty and then they try to, you have to prove, the person has to prove that they are um not guilty, but that's not how the court system works. People, a lot of people out there assuming because they saw the hotel footage where he was beating Cassie, that he was guilty of everything else that was said. And I think I mean I don't know for 100%, but I have a feeling, Anji, that um and again, allegedly, I have a feeling that possibly that's why that video was leaked as well, to sway the public opinion. Because
Ye- yeah.
without that video, I think the people wouldn't have been up in arms like this right now.
But yeah. So I'm just going to nuance what you said just a bit. In the eyes of the law, you have to wait. In the eyes of the law, it's innocent until proven guilty. In the eyes of the law. But the law is just one set, um, one set of laws and regulations. The official set of laws and regulation, you might argue, because it's from the state, you can get punished, you can get jail time or prison time. But a person, and this is a bit tricky to understand, or to it's a bit tricky to understand the concept, but so I would have to use examples. But a person has every single one of us, every single one of you guys as well, we all have multiple sets of rules and regulations that we adhere to. Only thing is they're not official rules and regulations, right? They're not written in law books. But if you work at an office, then you have certain rules and regulations. Of course, you have the legal rules, but you also have like the culture. They call it the culture. And if you act in a way that's that's not in accordance with the culture, then you're breaking a rule. If you have a friend group and you're making jokes about sleeping with women, for example, and not calling them back, and you're the one who says no, I believe that's wrong, you have to treat a woman right, don't lead a woman on, then you're the outcast, you will get punished, because in that group there are other rules and regulations. You can
Yeah.
reverse it as well, as if you have a group with only married men, serious men, and they're serious about their relationships, they talk about helping each other, being helping each other as men, being better husbands, and a dude comes by and says, you know what, you guys are lame, women ain't ish, just sleep around, you're breaking the rules and regulations. So
Mhm.
there are a lot of rules and regulations, and so what they tried to do to Diddy was character assassination,
Yeah.
character, and hoping that despite what happens in his lawsuit, his character, his reputation has been tarnished, and I believe to a certain extent they did it, at least for
Yeah.
mainstream purposes.
Yep.
But the dude can start a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, and still make money nowadays. So he's not really reliant on the on the um on the mainstream channel as you know in the past.
Yeah.
I also think here that now in 2025 people are less, we've been desensitized to the
A
Me Too
lot of
movement,
the yeah. Yeah.
because there have been so many false alarms
Me
throughout
Too,
the years,
OnlyFans.
so many false alarms. So I think that if this had happened 5 to 7 years ago,
You would have been cooked. You
he
would have
would
been
have
cooked.
been not only convicted, but he, I don't know convicted necessarily, but it's, I mean, for the public, you wouldn't have had a chance to come back. But now 2025, we've seen all the false claims, and again, he's guilty of being a freak. I don't think people find it that bad of an that much of an issue that
He
he
like he likes sloppy seconds.
he likes sloppy seconds, and but not only that, Cassie participated. She was an active participant. So you, it's different if he had forced her, but he didn't. She was picking him out. She was also giving instructions. She was the one dealing with the escort. So what are we talking about? You know?
Yeah, and yeah. So yeah, and the defense was so convinced that they didn't, and that's why we're gonna close it on this note, this part of the show, this first topic. The defense was so convinced that they proved that he's not guilty, that they didn't put one witness on the stand. RJ, I think we talked about is that was remarkable, um, which was at the end the right choice, because they were convinced that they proved that this is a BS, or majority of the things they are claiming are BS, right?
Yeah. Yeah, as you said. And the one that would need to prove, well, it's the prosecution that would have had to prove that he's guilty.
Yeah.
And so they were convinced that it's not like they were necessarily convinced that they had a strong case, but they were convinced that the prosecution had a weak case.
And that they took down their witnesses, because one of the alternate jurors also started talking. By the way, he went to a couple of interviews right now with CNN.
Yeah, I saw him.
He said the Don Rashad, Rashad one, it was a total takedown.
Yeah.
Nicole Westmoreland, and we're gonna talk about this the second part of the show, guys. So let us know in the comments what you think. Do you believe that this is the turn in um, the Me Too movement? Is this a monumental verdict that will maybe change how the Me Too movement is being perceived, or is this something that will continue as is, and there will be more uh, guys getting a frico thrown at them, or will this be a change for the prosecution to not try to charge people with unrelated or things that are not clear in these cases? Because I mean, they could have, I think, probably if they would have only charged him with the pro stuff, it wouldn't even gotten through the the first I think it's called, oh, what's it called when they are choosing accepting the case. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think. Of course,
Engagement?
we will pick again.
Engagement?
No, grand jury. I probably wouldn't have gotten through the grand jury. But guys, let us know in the comments what you think. Share your thoughts down below, and we'll be picking one of the best comments to feature one of our future videos. So make sure you share your hottest take. RJ.
Yes, guys. Also, don't forget, and I'm gonna play the video after this one, but don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification icon so you stay up to date when we drop new videos. Also, subscribe to the email list. Check it in the. You can find the link in the description box down below. KR, let me play it real quick, So now, if you close your eye just for a bit, you won't look like a fool.
Chop, chop,
Uh,
chop. Put my
let me see.
body against your body.
No. That's a different one. Yeah, let me see. But I'll just play the sound because I think that would just in case, right? This is the sound.
I don't hear you.
People that's coming for me. I said, yo, I fired security 8 months ago. If I walk out in here,
Tekashi.
out the staircase, it was like,
Well, listen, nigga, I don't know what kind of gun that is.
no,
I don't know. I don't know. That's a different kind of.
Kind. Man, yo, that's crazy. Nah, but hey, you gotta send me the link so I save that, so I can save that one for the
KB.
fixed videos we have in the deck. But
Yeah.
nah,
Channel
but
and-
all that being said, man, going back towards the this whole situation. Let's go to the second part of the show, and which is Cassie cooked? Is Cassie cooked? Because right now, what the verdict said is that Cassie isn't a victim. She's actually someone who had partaken in these situations, resulting in the following, RJ. Clayton Howard, a male court from Diddy Freakoffs, is suing Cassie, alleging he contracted an
And
STD
Diddy.
from Cassie.
Suing Cassie and Diddy. You said
Yeah,
Cassie.
yeah. Cassie and Diddy, yes. But
I know
before
you're
this,
starstruck. I know you're starstruck by the picture, but it's Cassie and Diddy.
yes. I don't see the man. I only see the Cassie. I focus on the price. Well, who knows? Is the
Don't
price
worry.
anymore?
So don't worry. Diddy's focusing on the man for you.
Yes. See, I'll keep him on that side. Nah, but apparently, I don't know if this is a real accusation, because I saw the interview of this guy on what's it called again? Tasha K. Yeah, I felt like it was all cap, but let's take a look. Fair use.
So good morning. I am Dave, the man who has just sued Cassandra Ventura for damages involved in the Sean Combs sex trafficking trial. And I'm looking through social media and I see women out there, particularly black women like myself.
What's up?
I'm just laughing at how you finished the last show. Put my body, yo. What's the dude's name? Man.
Chop,
Anyway,
chop,
that-
chop. Michael
yeah.
Beasley.
Michael Beasley. Yeah. But yeah, I was just laughing at that part. But maybe we can show it later on. That's good. Oh, you have it.
I'm swirling on my, swirling on my. I'm gonna put my body on your body. Hey, tonight is going down.
I want the energy too.
Hey man, I don't want no problem, man. Can I walk by, please?
This is how Diddy will act when he's out. The first day out, he's gonna come at people like, "I'm gonna put my body against your body. Pull out this one. Pull out this one."
Yo,
Oh,
I don't know
man.
if this is like good or bad promotion for Johnson and Johnson's baby oil. Yo,
It's
KR,
still closed. It's still closed, by the way.
you'll
Just
be,
so you know, it's still closed.
yeah, that one is. You'll be walking around asking yourself, KR, you'll drop your kid off at a daycare, baby daycare. Guys, of
Oh,
course, remember
man.
to rate the show by pressing the like button, follow us on our socials. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the notification icon, so you stay up to date when we drop new videos. Also, subscribe to the email list for the email newsletter. But yeah, KR, you'll drop your kid off at a daycare, and like you get
That's
like you smell a mixture of olive oil, coconut oil. No one's using baby oil anymore. Olive oil, coconut oil,
And doo-doo.
vegetable oil. motor oil. No baby oil.
No
No
baby
one's
oil,
using
man.
baby oil anymore. Oh man.
Oh man, no, but going back, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Daddy got off, man, with with only prostitution. Let's go back to this guy who's claiming that. Well, let's take a look what he's claiming. Fair use.
Who choose to victim shame me and try to do everything they can to discredit me, because the truth is that the loss of the Sean Combs trial was a loss to the Me Too movement and to hating women like the women who are trying to insult me. So let me tell you something, you women out there who would like to insult me. This is my story. I was paid by Cassie, Cassandra Ventura, for 8 years to be her male provider. I didn't have to be the best looking guy. I was the best in bed. And because I was the best in bed, guess what? I was given this arrangement. I was coerced. I was drugged. I was manipulated with promises of money and gifts for over a period of 8 years to continue to be this woman's provider at her expense and at the expense of Diddy. Now, at the time, legally, I didn't know my rights as well as I do now. I didn't create this conflict with Cassandra Ventura. She created it with me. She's the one who decided to bring up things that happened over 10 to 15 years ago to hold Sean Combs accountable for what was a partial truth. She's the person who introduced me to the U.S. Attorney's Office. She's the person who told the U.S. Attorney's Office about our relationship. So, in essence, those out there who want to hate on me, who want to say that I'm attacking Cassie, you should realize the truth that Cassandra Ventura, your idol, did this to herself. She exposed herself to liability when she got on the stand and decided to mention me as the male escort who was with her when she overdosed and Diddy made her have sex with him. That was a lie, people. Cassie had just woke up from sleeping 8 hours. Myself and Sean Combs were exhausted. We wanted to go home. Cassie's the one who forced that sexual encounter. People, she tells you that Sean Combs made her have sex on her menstrual cycle. I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But I know the one time that did happen, that Sean Combs was not responsible for that. That Cassie, in a drunken, intoxicated, hormonally imbalanced state due to her period, manipulated and forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle. And what I mean by that is I had no knowledge she was on her menstrual cycle because the room was completely dark. She manipulated the room. She manipulated the environment to get what she wanted, and then she totally got up like I was the one who should have been grateful. You're on your period. That's disgusting, and I deserved more respect than that. As a man, if I had laid down with a woman and forced myself on her and orgasmed in her and she got up and it was leaking out of her, guess what? I would have raped her. So by statute, by case law definition, Cassandra Ventura sexually assaulted me.
So here we are. Maybe this is just the first of many guys that were involved in those free calls that will sue both Cassie and Diddy. Cassie has 30 millions in the pockets now. She's a rich girl. Or maybe a little bit more than 30 because she, of course, she has to pay her lawyer's percentage. Let's say she has 25. Still 25 more than she had before. So now she's also has a target on her back. RJ, what do you think? Is this going the right direction? For her, at least. Is this going the wrong direction? Will this be the one of many lawsuits coming with her name also in it?
I think this will also flop. This case, to be honest, KR, I'm gonna be very honest. This case will also flop. Let's be very, very honest. Um, and up until last year, everyone had forgotten about Cassie. Let's be honest about that as well.
That's true.
At least the only reason why she's been so as an artist, I mean, she still is beautiful, not as beautiful as she used to be. But she was very beautiful, up and coming. She had a pretty hot single or two, maybe. He had a album. She looked like an up and coming, promising. She was a very promising person, an actress, and then she disappeared. At least as a musician, um, she was still with Diddy, and she was known as the girlfriend of Diddy
Yeah.
for a long time. And after they broke up, everyone had forgotten about it. Everyone had forgotten about it. So this might hurt her comeback if she wanted, if she had intention to come back as an artist. This will definitely hurt her. But even without the case, what the Diddy case showed is that she was also involved and actively participating. So that in itself will hamper her, you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but in the, what do they call it? In the culture, you're one hit away from being back on top. So
So she better get in the studio and start cooking
yeah,
up. Nah,
just
but
one hit. Drake is one hit away from being
he's
back
trying.
on top.
Did you see? Did you see him
He's
dropping
trying
the new song?
desperately.
He's
He's trying
trying. He's trying to fight back. He's trying. He's dissing Future, LeBron. Which you know what I hate the most. You know what I hate the most is when rappers diss people that cannot diss him back. That's why I never liked Eminem, because majority of the time he was dissing people that cannot rap. When he was on the mainstream level, he was dissing Mariah Carey. He was dissing
Why did
Moby.
you have to? Why did you have to come? Why did you have to
As
bring
soon
Eminem?
I'll take the
You
chance.
don't like Eminem. It's
I
clear
don't
you don't
like him.
like him.
No,
But
I
he's a great
I
rapper.
respect his skill level, but I don't like him because he was
That's
picking on people that you're bullying people. You're
yeah.
trying to bully people. If they come, RJ, if someone is trying to disrespect you in a way that you cannot protect yourself, that's it's kind of a bully. But
It is. It's
good luck
not.
to Drake.
It is a bully. It is a bully. Yes.
Good luck to Drake. Maybe he'll get it together.
But he also
Um,
did. He also did Tupac.
who?
M did.
M?
Yeah.
Are we
Together with
guessing
50.
people
50.
in
Forgive
graves now?
me. Daddy, daddy, daddy. What? Not well. Not Tupac. Whoa. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Ja Rule. Ja Rule is what I mean. Ja
Okay.
Rule.
Okay, maybe Ja I expect. Yeah, well, I mean,
Ja.
Ja wasn't there. Ja,
In his,
okay.
well, I understand your
That
point. He
is
couldn't defend himself either. I understand your point. Okay.
Ja can
But,
barely. Ja is a songwriter. Ja isn't a rapper, man. Ja wasn't a battle rapper, battle tested. This man was making pop songs, trying to get popping. But now going back, man, but I think relating to the Cassie thing, I think you're right. I think the guy is. I saw the interview with him and Tasha K. The guy is the stories he's telling, RJ. I doubt whether in a situation where you're doing the deed and you have that interaction with each other, the things he was saying they were doing sound crazy. Sound crazy. He's getting into arguments with Cassie. He's getting in arguments with Diddy, and this is not the typical. This is not a typical interaction which you see how the other guys were describing those nights. So I would suspect that it's gonna end in nothing. But at the end of the day, Cassie will have to make sure protect that 30 million or the 20 million she has left, because uh yeah, this is the end of the road for the money she can get out of Diddy. And I don't know if she can make a comeback in the studio, but yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be a thing. But another thing as well, Ajay, friends are speaking out. One of the guys that have been quite vocal is Boosie, and this is what he had to say after the verdict. Fair use.
Man, I'm so glad Diddy free, bro. You know, the reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. Like, and I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, you know, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, you know. And people always Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about seven children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who been in my kids' position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. So all y'all was like, no, I'm thinking about them damn children, man.
By the way, before we go to the next clip, who cares about the children? If he did something wrong, he would have got locked up. Who cares? So if someone pops people in the head and he has 7 children, now we have to take into account the 7 children. It is what it is. I think Diddy opened himself up for this scrutiny. He's too old, RJ. I always say this, and I think we said it already early stage of this whole Diddy stuff. He's too old to be doing this stupid stuff. You're opening up yourself for crazy situations because you know you're paying people for the act. You know you're also sometimes calling people, telling them, "Hey, let's go eat," and after we eat, suddenly you want a freak off. That's not fair towards the people who were part of those freak offs, because sometimes they don't want to do freak offs. At the same time, and again, he's too old. The reason why, and maybe this is a thing with what he says, black moguls, is that these guys do stupid stuff. Sometimes they have. Let's take a look at Bill Cosby. I'm not trying to compare him to any whites. I'm just looking at the case of Bill Cosby. He was giving pills to people, and after that, having intercourse with them. Bro, you're setting yourself up for a lawsuit. Come on, RJ.
Yeah. So, but the question is, it's not like the question is when are you the unk in the club? How do you know that you become the unk in the club? Everyone knows what I'm talking about. The unk in the club. You know, when you go to a club, KR, you know, you know what I mean, right? You can see it at every club. There's
If you
at
have
least
to
one.
dye your hair, or your beard, you're the unk in the club.
Yeah.
Diddy is still dying. One thing I wonder, if Diddy, when he comes out, whether he will dye back his hair black or will he come out as a gray man? Maybe he has to change his whole persona. Now he's gray Diddy instead of black Diddy.
Yeah.
Another thing that he said.
You think they did Diddy wrong? Or
Of course.
You said he did everything that everybody's
Of
doing.
course. He got a freako.
But the
You ever
500,
heard of a RICO by your damn self?
the 500
It's a freako.
500 dildos and
I don't give a damn. You're a freak. I don't give a damn. If I want my bitch to watch, if I want my bitch to get another dick while I watch, while money going everywhere, call another dick up, go buy her something after that. I don't look at it like it's a crime. Freako. You're just freaky. He did what? Met a girl at the studio and they ran a train. He put dick on and flew out. Is that a crime? Freak. I just was thinking of all the stuff he was charged for.
Look at his
God.
Look at Jason Lee's face.
Damn, he freaky. This man, he don't deserve. You don't give him a bond. Who did he fucking? Bro, it's a black billionaire, bro. Gonna be hard on him. That's why, because he's a successful black man. That's why.
Why nobody?
And they fucking over him.
You said I feel Diddy in jail for basically doing whatever other famous
Every other
entertainers done.
rapper, you got.
Yeah. I'm not gonna play it too much, but we get the point. It's crazy. It's crazy. But now people are speaking out. Friends, people are letting themselves know. No one spoke anything while the case was going on. Now that he's off, people are getting scared, RJ. People are letting themselves saying something about this whole situation. Friends, quote unquote, friends are speaking out. I think what Diddy has learned is who his real friends are. And he doesn't have many. I'll tell you that. Doesn't have many. Just wrap it up.
He doesn't have many. And do you want to be associated with those people? That's the second question. Like,
That's the
are those your only option?
He's cooked. He's cooked. He has to wrap it up. If he gets out, just one thing: keep his nose clean. Because RJ, we all know what will happen after he beat the feds. One thing people don't like is getting beat. They're gonna they well, let's call it people in the system. Cops
Okay, but
don't
let's
like
name
to
the
get
names. Let's name the names. Let's name the names. Ye is one of them.
Jay's the
Boozy,
only
I don't
one who
think I don't think Boozy is a friend, but Boozy
Nah, but he
stayed
spoke out.
Boozy stayed like very
Yeah.
matter of fact, but I wouldn't say he's a friend.
That's all.
Young Miami for sure. Now Miami's
yeah,
gonna
this
get
is
a next
Yeah,
show.
but I think so. Everyone who didn't show up during that trial to stand on to take a stand, all of them are good.
Yeah.
We're talking about Christina Corral, the security. By the way, the security guard. There was a security guard, one of the higher ones that no one knew where he was. You know what happened, RJ? Last day of the verdict, he showed up on the court to help the family. Witness number 3. What's the name again? Give me a second. I'll give you the name. Is this her? Let me see. Yeah, this is her. This is her. This was witness number 3, RJ.
I have a quick question for you. You think Diddy's gonna win this trial? Before you go, that's what I want to know. If Diddy does win this trial, do you think your life will be threatened in any kind of way? No. You don't think so? You think everything will be safe? Because the girl Aubrey O'Day, she said that if Diddy wins, she's gonna leave the country.
I mean, he never did anything dangerous to me. I'm not scared.
You're not scared? Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
This was witness number 3, RJ. She was supposed to take a stand as well. Then she just disappeared. And this was one day before the verdict. They recorded this. Now she pops out again. So she's also good. But hey, there's not a lot of people left. Even French Montana didn't say anything. French is out there still running for the camera. We saw him run before this, but yeah, all that being said, I think Diddy will have to watch out after he gets out, because I mean they're gonna try him again. They're gonna put him in. He might get put in a situation where he also again can get put on trial. We saw that happening also to OJ. OJ got set up the second time, and that got him like 30 years.
I think he set himself up partially as well. Right?
Well, that's also
he was
a
playing.
real thing.
He was. There's an example of making jokes about something that people are. If he had just laid low, I think no one would have minded. But he couldn't do that.
He went after his own trophies, and he was getting recorded getting after his own trophies. He was put in that position. So hey, guys, let us know. I mean, he'll have to watch out. but he won't have a lot of people around him, or originally part of those all those parties. All those parties, if organized, you would think you would have friends, but hey, at the end of the day, people choose for their own self, and maybe it's a wake up call for him.
Yeah.
Also on the side of karma, maybe it's also a wake up call for him to try to start doing good instead of hurting people, scamming people. Um, Overall, I think if he turns this page, this chapter, turns the page on this chapter, is if he doesn't come out and try to do good, he will be cooked. I'll tell you that much. If he continues the same cycle he was before he went in, he's gonna get cooked. He's gonna get cooked. RJ, anything else you want to say? Yo.
Thinking how to formulate it, man. If you live in New York, my suggestion would be, well, and this only applies to people who have cars, right? Because a lot of people don't. The public transportation is pretty well as it relates to the connections. But if you live in New York, I would avoid the streets for a while, because it might become slippery once he's out. And the last thing you would want is to crash a car because there was baby oil in the streets. So that's it, basically. I'm just curious to see what will happen now. We know what the verdict is, but I'm curious to hear what Diddy will actually get.
Yeah. I think maybe we can talk about it next week. I think he'll get maybe 2 years max, 2.5 years. So with the time served by October, he'll have about 1 year done. So we'll probably have to sit only an additional 1 year. Probably. That's what I would have to guess. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think. Do you think Cassius Cook is this guy, this Dave guy, is he making these stories up? Will he be successful in suing Diddy and Cassie? Also, do you think that Diddy will have to find new friends, or will he just have to start moving on his own, protect his wealth, protect his family, start doing good, giving back to the community, become a philanthropist, and try to, restore his name and not try to steal from people, steal their publishing and all those other stuff. Let us know in the comments what you think, and we will pick one of the best comments to feature one of our future videos. So make sure you share your hottest take. RJ.
Yes, guys. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon so you stay up to date when we drop new videos. Also, subscribe to our newsletter where we share with you links to viral moments and articles that did not make today's show. So, you watch us. A lot of people watch but are not subscribed. But we would appreciate you subscribing to our YouTube channel and our email list so we can connect with each other on a deeper level.
Yes. Let's go to the last topic of today, which is Fernando Tatis Jr. For those who don't know, he's an NBA star who signed a $340 million contract. But what seems like a huge payday is maybe something totally else, because he might have to share. He might have to share the money with other investors in his career. Fair use.
Fernando Tatis Jr. owes an investment firm $34 million. Now he's suing them so he doesn't have to pay them. This is one of the shadiest things in sports. Let me explain. So there's this company called Big League Advance. Essentially what they are is an investment firm that provides athletes with upfront cash in exchange for a percentage of their future earnings. They have deals with hundreds of baseball players, including Fernando Tatis Jr., Elly De La Cruz, and a bunch of others. And they've even started a venture into football and basketball too. The way it works is pretty simple. When Fernando Tatis Jr. was in the minor leagues in 2017, he was given $2 million in cash up front. If he doesn't make it to MLB, he doesn't have to pay any of the money back. But if he does, he owes them 10% of all of his future earnings. just on the field. Fernando Tatis Jr. initially praised this agreement, saying it allowed him to hire a personal trainer, eat better food, and upgrade his apartment. But then, just 4 years later, Fernando Tatis Jr. signed a 14-year, $340 million contract with the Padres, meaning he owed Big League Advance at least $34 million, plus 10% on any other MLB contracts that he might sign in the future. Tatis is now saying in his lawsuit that this deal should be voided because Big League Advance used predatory tactics to lure him to an investment deal that was really an illegal loan. And other MLB agents have stepped up too, saying that Big League Advance preys on young international players who get small signing bonuses. But I really don't think he's going to win this one, not only because several other MLB players have sued Big League Advance in the past and lost, but Big League Advance requires every contract to be reviewed by an independent lawyer. And they say that 70 to 80% of players never have to pay back any of the money because they don't make it to MLB. Fernando Tatis.
Crazy payday for the investment company. RJ.
Either you pay it up front.
Hey, we keep saying the same stuff at this. People don't understand that. They don't understand it, RJ.
Nothing is for free, KaiR.
Nothing is for free.
Either you pay it up front or you pay it, I want to say, at the back. You might think it's
That's crazy.
you might think it's a Nelly video clip. Was it a Nelly with a credit card?
By the way, I'll say this: it was a Nelly situation. That was proposed by the women themselves. That wasn't an initiative from Nelly or any male at that party or that video clip. It was the woman who said, "You know what? Try to swipe the card between the cheeks."
They proposed
Just
it.
a disclaimer. They proposed it. Men are always this is crazy. So that's the crazy part. Yeah, they proposed it. It was the women who proposed it. Shows you. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, but RJ, continue.
Yeah, so either you pay it at the front or you pay it at the back. And that's but you have to pay. Nothing is for free. Nothing is for free. What is for free is subscribing to our channel, actually. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and also subscribe to our email list. It's in the description down below. That's for the newsletter where we share with you links to viral moments that did not make today's show. But yeah, you have to pay it upfront, KaiR. No, not you have to. It's either upfront or
sacrifice.
Afterwards. But usually, so with it's just like a mortgage, right? Are you going to buy something small and build as you grow, saving as you grow, or will you build something big, ask for a loan, and build something big? Because when people tell you, yeah, they paid off their after they paid off their mortgage, they basically paid double the value. They ended up paying double the value of the house. KaiR, it's either, well, you wouldn't have that house if it was for that payment. So, but you didn't want to start small. You didn't want to rent. You wanted a house, a big house to show off. So it's either at the front or at the back. And usually, KaiR, it's more expensive when you have to pay at the back end.
Yeah, it is.
Usually, not always, but usually.
Usually, that's totally true. And by the way, you see that also we covered the Diddy case. It's the same with Diddy. Diddy is paying at the back end now. And look at him. He's almost lost his whole life and all his money on the back end. So you got to make sure you always, either you sacrifice everything in front or you give it up. Because look at what he did, right? He got $2 million. He got $2 million. I don't think the average guy would have gotten $2 million. They knew he was probably going to make it to MLB. So they gave him a bit more money. And he agreed on the 10% of his future earnings. 10%. At that time, it seemed easy for him, RJ, because he never would have imagined probably to make $340 million. sometimes you gotta read and also bet on yourself. Because now he sold his future earnings for a loan. Whether you can call it predatory loan or predatory
Is it? Yeah,
tactics.
and yeah, is it? It might be
No, I
predatory.
don't
Yeah,
think it. I
but
don't
but
think it is.
but it's without them, you wouldn't have gotten to where you've gotten. It's like an investment that someone. It's just like when someone comes to me, because we don't do no cure, no pay over here. But sometimes a person will tell you no cure, no pay. If I would want to do the job on a no cure, no pay basis, if I do that, it will be 33%.
Yeah.
But you think that's too much. So you want to, so actually what they're saying is we want to pay you at the end what you would charge us at the beginning. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work
It's
like
a
that.
risk. It's a risk.
So
You
you want
take
me
a
to
risk.
carry the risk? You want me to carry the risk and still get paid exactly? No.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? So when it's 33%, if you get 100K, and it's 33,000. If you get 1 million, it's going to be 330. What? Hey, that's the deal. That's the
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, I think you're right. People in general want to I mean, it's also understandable. They want to move the risk as much as possible to other parties, but they don't want to actually reward other people for that risk. And you see that in everything in life, right? People try to scold people who try to make themselves better as entrepreneur. You make the money as an entrepreneur, and then they hate people that are entrepreneurs because they make money, but they bet on themselves. Well, not all of them. Some of them scam, and we're gonna talk about it on Thursday. Make sure you tune in because we're gonna talk about a big scammer who got caught up in his BS. Well, actually, two, but yeah, if you bet on yourself and you make the money, it's a risk. Now, what Tatis did, he moved the risk to a third party, someone else outside of his camp. Got 2 million for moving that risk because I mean he couldn't have also not made it. Broke his ankle, break his arm. They lose the 2 million because you're never gonna get the big contracts.
Yeah.
So I don't think they stand a chance. I haven't read the small letters on the contract. I haven't read the contract or have a great insight on what is being said in the lawsuit. But I don't think, in general, if this is a clear agreement, because apparently, so this is what I have here as a big lead advance says these deals aren't predatory because they require independent lawyers to review each agreement, with 70 to 80% of the players never having to repay any of the money because they don't make it to the Major League Baseball. That's the risk they have in their business model.
Yeah, they lose, and win.
And
Lose,
win big.
lose, and win big.
Yeah. Now you're the stupid one who signed the contract for them to
I don't know
also
if it's
win big.
stupid, and that's the thing as well, right? So, for example, I have an issue with student loan. I'm a bit torn as it relates
You're
to
torn in
student loan.
between. Yeah.
Because on the one hand, as a kid, you are very dependent on what type of financial literacy lessons you get from your parents.
Let's start there. That's a good one. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have it. Whether
That's
you
true.
whether you like it or not, they don't have it. So the kid will get a loan because their parents will tell them to get a loan.
Encourage them. Yes, that's
Or
true.
encourage them to get a loan. They don't know any better usually at that time, because I think that if they do, they would approach it differently. I don't think so. Some people take out student loans to go study something that they like, that's fun.
Yeah, that's
But actually, it's
not
an
gonna
investment.
reward
You're paying
anything.
money. You should get something out of
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
But a lot of people don't see it. They see like a degree is mandatory, and then you have a degree in environmental arts. I don't know if that degree exists, but what can you do? What can you do? Why would you? So, do you really, really, really need it? So, I don't think you do. So,
You have the thing, and this is I totally agree with you on that. The whole student loan thing, you have to be very careful on what you're taking a loan on. You have to be aware that the salary you're gonna get in the future has to be able to cover the interest payments and the full money you have loaned again. So there's not only the interest, you have to also pay back the full amount. So if you are taking an arts degree, you want the arts degree, I mean the chances of you making the money back, it's gonna be very hard. Psychology, all these kind of small degrees, if it's not STEM, gotta ask yourself, is it worth it? So I totally agree with you on that.
or
Parents
it's
don't,
or
don't
it's STEM, science, technology,
yeah, and other all those
but law is
basically
not in there.
law is not in there, but law you
For
can
example, to
make
become
it
a
back as
lawyer,
well.
so if you want to become a lawyer, you need to have a degree. So
Yeah,
it
you
makes sense.
definitely yeah.
But if you don't need a degree,
Doctor as well, but
doctor as well.
those are higher paid higher paid
Jobs
jobs,
or professions, actually.
professions, yeah. So you can make it back, but if you're a teacher, and it's a scheme because the people who are offering you these all these subjects for you to go to take a student loan on, they know you're not going to be able to pay it back.
Yeah.
So yeah, movement of the risk. Guys, let us know in the comments what you think. Do you think Fernando Tatis has a chance in this lawsuit, or is he gonna blow the money and he'll have to pay the 34 million? And also, don't forget future earnings as well. So that's not the last payment he'll have to do. Whatever he signs next, he'll have to tag on the 10% of big lead advance on top of that, or knowing that he'll have to pay them that money. So let us know in the comments what you think. We'll be picking one of the best comments to feature one of our future videos, and of course, make sure you share your hottest take. RJ.
Yes, guys. Also, forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification icon so you stay up to date when we drop new videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our email list, which is in the description box below, where we will share with you links to viral moments and articles that did not make today's show.
Yes. Today we don't have the around the internet segment. So the last part of the show will be the best comment of the week. So let me share my screen right away. This is a older video which we covered the 21 charges that the Tate Bros are gonna get from the UK, and there are a lot of people that didn't agree with us actually, and we also like to highlight those comments. Actually, they call this goofies. Brother, you obviously don't do enough of what you're talking about, because you're a, I don't know, FA, know what he's trying to say. Could use a couple of steps. Anyway, I know what he's talking about, but also another one. But one of the most important questions that will come from this is, and I think Tate has said this before, however, people don't talk about this, is if all charges in all the countries finally come out as false after all the trials, what happens with the bad actors? Well, never happen with those bad actors, because that's not how the system is set up. Also, why do you just make up shit? Now, yeah, it is what it is, guys. sometimes people don't like our take. And thanks for the comments. Of course, you're free to disagree with us as long as it's funded upon good reasoning and you give also the reasons. Calling, what did he say? FA. I don't know what he's. Well, I already know what he's trying to say. Well, let's jump on the. Well, anyway, I don't know what he's trying to say now. My brain is a bit locked up, but yeah, trying to. If you're giving a comment, please don't try to insult people. Just give a comment and keep it pushing. If you disagree, I think with the Tate stuff, a lot of people are super Tate fans or super Tate haters. So if you're giving a neutral and a quite objective point of view, you'll get both sides against of you, the super haters and the super fans. So sometimes that's part of this as a content creator or as a podcast. It is what it is. I mean, Tate has a lot of super fans out there. RJ.
Yeah, and I mean, I like some people too, but you can still be critical about it. You know, you can still be critical. There are certain people that I listen to a lot, but that doesn't mean that they're that they can make mistakes. And the fact that they make mistakes, that's okay as well, right? No one's 100% is 100% like no one's in is like a saint basically. So it's
Saint, yeah.
yeah.
Gotta keep people.
Anyways, that's
gotta
it. But
keep people.
nonetheless, I do want to thank everyone for reacting to the comments that you highlighted. We do want to, because they did take their time to share their comments, so we want to thank you for that as well. It does help us with the platform.
True. You gotta keep people accountable, man. Keep your whoever your. We did a show a very long time ago. Well, one of the early. Sorry, I think it's probably one of the either in the first 10 or 20 shows we did. Where we basically said your guru or your mentor or whoever you're following online is setting you up for failure, and as long as you don't keep them accountable, you will be set up and you will be led to slaughter.
Yeah.
So guys, try to keep them accountable and also think critical. Don't follow like a brainless sheep.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll be picking one of the best comments to feature in one of our future videos. So share your hottest take. RJ.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Today we don't have around the internet segment, but we did dive deep into the two Diddy topics. If you like what we do, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon, so you stay up to date when we drop new videos. Subscribe to our newsletter, which is in the description box down below. And with that being said, we'll see each other in the next one. Till next time.
Peace.